Gundam.tk presents High Grade Genoace II. Hey, what's up again everybody? It's Robert184, 2Rs2Bs from GundamReviews.net, and as you can see, the Genoace Custom and the Advanced Grade Genoace II spinning around there, it's time to take a look at this high grade recolor with a few modifications. I'm talking about the Genoace II 1/144th High Grade. March 2012 release, and it sells for 1,200 yen. Here is the name bar, and you can see that it's number 16 in the HGH series with some pretty cool cover art. The Genoace certainly played a major role in the first generation of Gundam Age, especially because it was part of the killer combo there with Flit in the Age 1, and then you had Largan in the Genoace to go along with Wolf in his Genoace Custom, which was already upgraded, basically done it all in white with new thrusters, special shoulders, and things like that. When they time skipped ahead 25 years, basically take the old school color scheme and then apply it onto Wolf's, and let's see what kind of differences we're going to be getting in this kit a quarter century later. And don't forget, you can already check out my review of the Advanced Grade Genoace, which is half the quality for around half the price. No articulation though. To the box tour, where you can see the nice plates laid out there. It's always great to see that. You're going to be getting some beam sabers there, gray, white, and the trademark pink if you want to call it that. To go along with, yes, the baton is going to be in gray, it looks like there on the A plate. Always seems a little bit redundant, but still better to have an extra color than not. You can see that this one's going to be quite different from the original Genoace, which had a bigger faceplate and was done in blue, whereas this one's going to be green, similar to Wolf's old one, and it is going to have a new weapon there, and the big difference between this and the Advanced Grade is the gray inner frame. You can see the thrusters are looking good on the back, and you're going to have the great posability that we've seen with this whole high-grade line, with its primary weapon here being the Dod's gun, which is going to be a little bit different because the Advanced Grade actually had two, including Wolf's old one. You are going to be getting the two beam sabers, which is fantastic, and yes, the heat stick has not changed after 25 years. I suppose it's still getting rid of Occupy Wherever. Here you can see that you're going to be getting two different kinds of hands, a closed fist one to go with the regular holding ones. You can put the nightstick into the shield, and you can put seals on for the eyes, which are going to look good when you cover it up with that clear part, and some pretty cool looking poses there, with the beam saber really adding a nice touch. Other side, where you're going to get some information about the weapons to go along with its development from the Genoace, and some pretty cool looking line art. I'm a big fan of that green, and you can see it over here, that you're going to have that little bit of a different shape compared to the old school ones as they fight the Dorado, which is the Vugi or the Vegan's new grunt suit to correspond with this guy. And over here you can even see that right out of the box with no effort whatsoever that it's going to look pretty sharp, although it is noticeably here in pink. Because regular viewers of the anime are going to know that the Diva's crew, they have their special Adels and their special Genoace 2, which actually have named characters, and they certainly help out Assam all the time in the Age 2. You have the Adel here in AG and HG. It is going to be getting the purple colors for the Diva. No word yet on the Genoace 2, although I certainly hope we do get that, considering that we're also getting to see the pilot with developing a romance, along with DK's one of his assistants. I suppose it's good that they do the pink one first, but then again, the ones that we're seeing week in, week out, those are the ones who I'd rather have on my shelf in the right purple colors. But inside the box we go, where you're going to be getting a colorful A plate there, three colors on there, white, pink, and gray, a different gray from the inner frame, clear two polycaps, more pink to go along with the beam sabers thrown in, a little bit of custom looks like there for the D and the gray plates to go along with the manual. Here's the A plate, and I'll be showing you it compared to the Genoace Custom just so you can see how much of a remold slash recolor this is. You can see that you're going to have the pink over there and the heat rod up at the top. And if you take Wolf's old Genoace Custom there and you plug it in down there, it's got an extra manipulator here, so it's going to have the third hand. You are going to have the gray up at the top, and that gray part there belongs to the bayonet on the end of his gun. The B plate is going to give you all you need for the inner frame and weapons here, although these are the old school weapons. You've got the face and the thrusters and some cool looking gray parts which are going to add a lot of details onto the shoulders. But you can see here, this is sort of cool that you can have some extra paint guns to go back and recreate Wolf versus Flit at the very beginning to see who had the right to pilot the white mobile suit. Of course, Flit ended up on top and keeping his Gundam. But it is sort of interesting that this one's going to be identical, so it's that D plate that's going to make all the difference in terms of the gray. The C plate is going to give us the rest of the pink parts here with the backpack, the very unique shoulders to go along with the feet and the shield. And you can see that this is identical to Wolf's Genoace Custom, but if you take it and compare it to the old high grade one, you can see that the other parts here for the head, shoulders, and backpack would have just been over here instead. So what's new? Well, it's pretty much just this D part here with the gray parts here that you can see that are going to make up the new weapon to go along with the extra manipulator. And you already saw that it's got the extra hand cover in white on the A plate. PC001 is going to be very familiar to go along with SB6, so you've got the round beam sabers. You can throw those into the Vegan's hands if you want. And you are going to be getting the CL2, which we saw with Wolf, and I certainly like that green, I've said it again and again, more than the old school blue from the Genoace 1. It's once you get to the stickers, though, that you're probably going to be a little bit disappointed, or I am anyway. You are still going to have those cool looking eyes underneath the clear part, which are going to bring the face alive a little bit, and you've got the camera lenses there, everything's looking good. But then you see that big white part, and I wondered where that went until I re-examined the C plate, and when you've got the face here, for the old school Genoace in high grade, you actually had a plastic piece to go under the blue face there, whereas with this one, you're still going to have the all-around face, but the problem being that it seems like they're sort of degressing here. They're not progressing at all because you're going to have to put a seal on the most noticeable part of the Gundam, and that's always disappointing. That should be done in plastic if they could do it with the old school Genoace, never mind the 2. Great looking cover art here for the manual where you've got 3 different views of the Genoace, if you want to say that. And you can see the line art there to go along with the big donut ring that Flit is the cook-in-chief for. Here you can see that they've got the pilots of the Wolf team over here. I really like that they show this off. They're jumping ahead a little bit with the double bullet there, Wolf in his G-bouncer. And here they are in their purple colors, as I mentioned. The Adele has 2 of them. It's great that they've got the numbers on there just sort of to differentiate. Would be cool if this one had a number on that and that was reflected in a high grade or advanced grade at some point in the future. There you can see some of the pilots, and down below you've got the other crew of the Wolf team, and you can see them all getting together. This is the one that we know of, and he is in the blue, or the purple one, sorry, not the pink one. We haven't actually seen the pilots, despite the fact that this guy actually had a really good debut in the anime and seems to have garnered quite a few fans. Here you can see the same features they show around the box, including the Dod's gun, the weapons there, to go along with the H2, not the double bullet. Pretty simple painting guide. You've got that gray one for a massive, well, one piece. Inside you can see that you've got the 4 plates plus extras laid out there, chest, arms, put them all together and combine it with the legs. Surprisingly, they're not going to tell you how to build up Wolf's weapon, so you'd have to actually just figure it out yourself, which isn't hard, or use his manual if you've got one kicking around. But here on the back, the least exciting color page I think I've ever seen to build up the Dod's gun and the shield, put it all together. And yes, they've got a big advertisement that this guy works with an action base too. So that'll wrap up my unboxing of this Genoace 2 in the high grade form. I've got to say that it was fun looking at the plates because it is really cool to see just how much forethought Bandai put into this. Designing the Genoace Custom, and the Genoace 2 all on the same sets of plates with just minor variations. My big disappointment, as I said, came at the end when I saw that on the seals. They really shouldn't have that. You expected an advanced grade to not have white there. But with the old school one having the color properly done in white plastic and very noticeable there under the clear part, again, it just feels like they're not quite doing their job. However, the D plate is certainly going to be a little bit of fun to put together a new weapon, and I can't wait to build up my army of grunts, something I never thought I'd say. But the Genoace has been fun. Adding the Adele and adding the future color variations should only make it more so. Anyway, everybody, stay tuned. This won't be a 4-part review, just one more part where you can see it all together and next to everything else. So let me know what you think with a comment down below. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time. Bye. Yeah, I know you're proud that it's a plastic piece and not a seal, but you do not deserve to call yourself Whitebeard.